David Green, he is the guy who started Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting him and hearing from him and another family, one of our partners with Thrive. I heard from Dan McKenna, is one of our partners here at Thrive. And I remember talking to Dan and talking to David, and they're all saying, well, we have a family day where we get together every week with our family. Every Sunday we have a family day. And I remember kind of hearing about that, but kind of going, and I had 5 kids, and I remember just hearing it and just continually, just mentally, every time they would say it, I'd just be like, that's just the way life is. I'm so busy.
Well, you had enough time to have 5 kids, so you were focused sometimes.
I made some time. But the thing is that I realized that eventually I've got to do this. I don't want life to be this thing where we never really connect. And so we started scheduling time for family time. And now I see cousins and brother-in-laws and moms and everybody every single Sunday for family time. But we changed the way life was to how life is by making that change. That was hard. We had to say no to things and we had to move things around, but we did it.
You took control of that.
And that was like a deal where I was being an idiot for I think about 7 years. I just wasn't scheduling time for family. And I think anybody watching this, if you're in some way in your life, I would just ask yourself, what area of your life are you saying, well, that's just how life is, I'm just stuck? Is it physical? Is it financial? Is it the business? In what area are you just tolerating something? And that's just something we need to all ask ourselves, isn't it?
Absolutely. Don't underestimate the changes you can make in your life. Don't, when you think you can't, you know what Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you think you can't, you're right.
Now,
either way.
I want to bring this up to you because Henry Ford is known as the master of efficiency, master of effectiveness. He's the guy who built the modern assembly line that Ford used. I mean, Ford was master at this, and step 5 ties in great to this. You say create an efficient and effective routine. Create an efficient and effective routine. Abraham Lincoln, the famous president who helped end slavery, and he's just famous for a variety of reasons, but he says, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Lee, why is it so important to for everyone to constantly ask themselves if what they are doing right now is the most efficient and effective, before they go out there and start chopping down a tree with an unsharpened axe?
I think if you ask yourself and reflect, are you as sharp as you should be? Do you know as much as you should be? And Stephen Covey said the same thing, sharpen the saw, keep up, go back to school, take a course, learn. If you don't know something, Google it. If you don't know something, ask somebody. You don't have to be an expert, you just got to get it done. And you either do it yourself if you're good at it. If you're not, you get a trainer, you get a banker, you get whatever you need to get it done and sharpen the saw. I mean, I guarantee you, every week I'm smarter than I was last week.
Yeah.
I learned something. I run into words all the time, I don't know what they are, I just go look them up. Then all of a sudden I know.
do too. I read books. I'm always right.
You don't even have to get the dictionary. It takes 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You don't have any excuse for not learning today. There it is. Websites. Thrive 15. If you watch one video a day. That would be an hour and a half a week of learning.
Change
an hour and a half a week, 75, 80 hours.
We talked to one lady who told us that she's just watched just about 15 minutes, 5 days a week. And she said it completely changed the way I manage. And forever, the lid on her business was just how she managed. And just taking 15 minutes a day to carve it out. And I want to ask you this question, because this is a question that might be a little hard. It might be, if you're watching this, it might come across like this guy's brutal. This guy's brutal. But here, I'm going to read you the question here. It says, what kind of stuff have you found that others are doing that's completely inefficient or ineffective when they don't focus on specific? When you talk to business owners, what kind of stuff do you see them consistently doing that's inefficient and ineffective?
One thing a lot of business owners don't focus on is they don't deal with ineffective employees. They don't get rid of them. They don't have the discussion with them. They were founders. They all started together, and they don't deal with the non-performance. This is a big problem. Or they don't understand the finances deeply enough, and they don't get a finance person next to them who can really guide them. I always said to people in big companies, your right-hand person is your finance person, your left-hand is your HR person. Keeps you out of court, keeps you out of lawsuits. This one keeps you financially stable. And again, I just like to tell people, I was the most likely not to succeed in my class. I mean, when I made a C, my mother baked a cake. It was incredible. We had a party.
You didn't go to college either, did you?
I went, but I didn't go to class.
Okay. You did not graduate from college?
No.
But you never ran Walt Disney World?
It was highly unlikely that could have ever occurred.
But you ran Walt Disney World, the biggest resort on the planet.
Because I'm one of these people that learns by doing. So I started at the bottom, and I learned how to do it. And my self-confidence grew as I got more successful. When I did a job and learned it. But you show me how to do it, I can do it. You tell me to read this book and do it, it's different. I can sit down and show you how to do things.
So if you're watching this and you're somebody who needs to learn by doing, there's nothing wrong with you. Some people learn by reading, some people learn by watching, some people learn by doing, but we all have to learn. We can't just get stuck and say that's the way it is.